Hey y'all, it's Laura and welcome back to Scraplift Sunday as well as Lisa Kingston's Pink Glitter Scrapper YouTube Hop. So Lisa Kingston, aka Pink Glitter Scrapper, has been on YouTube for 5 years now. She is an amazing scrapper. I really enjoy her videos here on YouTube. And so today Miranda and I are lifting one of her layouts as well as many other folks also lifting one of Lisa's layouts today. And you saw at the beginning the layout that we chose to lift. So this one is right inside of my wheelhouse because there are some beautiful hearts stacked in the background. And I love, love, love this design. And it's one that I use pretty often if I'm honest. And it's always nice to get back to the ones you love, the designs you really love to do, something that comes natural to you. Those designs I find the most fun to scrap. While I love to experiment, I love to try new things, I love to scrap lift other people's designs, it's always nice to come back into your comfort zone as well and just enjoy the process. So what I have here is a Emmy Tangerine paper, this stripe, and that came from my Secret Kit Club / stash kit that I unboxed for you guys at the beginning of the month. I am determined to get through this stash kit this month and be able to start fresh on November. Because as it happens, I already have that kit together and I'm really excited to dive into it. So let's get on to this one. I'm using a large Fisker's Heart Punch to punch across the line. So I'm getting kind of an ombre effect from the rainbow in the background. And then I'm going to use some of this beautiful, beautiful, I think it's a Maggie Holmes vellum, and I'm going to use that for the top and bottom border on my layout. Now I'll end up using more than that. I actually brought in some washi on this layout. I know, shocking. I know you can't believe it because I don't use washi very often. I should. I like washi. I just forget that I have it. And so this layout gets a little washi love. Now once I put my photo in place, I realized it was kind of too big. So I will address that in a minute, but first I want to add some washi to the top and the bottom. Ended up going with this dark navy washi that says Laugh Out Loud. Now these photos are of my older 3 kids in front of a local cinema, and they are going to see The Last Jedi. Yes, these photos are a couple of years old and they were super excited to go. And so I thought Laugh Out Loud was a fun little playful message to put into the washi. And I do tape behind my washi almost always because I don't trust it. It tends to come up and start curling off the page, especially on top of vellum. And so I made sure to reinforce that with a little bit of double-sided tape. Now I'm going to start arranging my hearts here. I did try a lot of different ways, and that's why they got a little messed up in between my editing there. But I decided I wanted to go in rows and not in columns the way that Lisa did. Lisa did columns up and down across her page. I'm going to go in rows instead just because of the stripy nature of the paper that I used. It just looks better to have them all line up in those rows and has an almost rainbow ombre effect from top to bottom with the yellow all the way down to the indigo blue. Are they all perfectly straight? Nope, because I don't use a ruler. I don't worry about being perfect. Perfection is not required in scrapbooking, and I would strongly encourage you to just let it go with some of that stuff. Don't worry about getting everything exactly right because then you won't ever get anything done. And I think getting things finished, having a finished album is far more valuable than having 100 perfectly unfinished layouts. And that is exactly where I would be if I was trying to be perfect. So taping those down, I will skip ahead in just a minute so that you can see the finished spread, but I wanted to show you how the hearts will puzzle together this way and how much I like that as opposed to just putting them in a column. Now, I really enjoyed this design and I really enjoyed this paper. As you can see, my photo a little too big. So I decide to go ahead and chop off a little bit of the bottom, not their feet, don't worry, just a little bit of that road, and then I'll just put some white cardstock at the bottom again, and no big deal. No one will ever know. So here's a little cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and finish off that frame. I did have a couple of people ask why I use white cardstock around all of my photos. I know photo matting is one of those things that's very different person to person. Some people mat every photo. Some people don't mat any of their photos. Some people use multiple mats. I tend to float between them, but I almost always put a white piece of cardstock around there first because I feel like it highlights the photo and brings it to your eye first. I am using some thickers. I think these were from Crepe Paper's Wild at Heart, maybe? I'm not really sure. Pretty sure it was one of those tropical lines though, and I chose Wild Fun. Now initially I put it up toward the center because I believe that's where Lisa had put her title, was up toward the center of the photo. But because it's kind of a copper glittery thicker, it wasn't showing up very well because I have orange right in the center there. So I went ahead and slid it on down to the red area and the purple area where it stands out just a little bit more, and you can actually read it pretty easily. Now I also had these DIY embellishments that we made live on one of our Friday night live scraps. If you want to see this one, I'll try to remember to link it in the comments below for you so that you can go check out how to make those little cork hearts. And I also have this row of wood buttons on a piece of ribbon, and that was part of my kit from the Secret Not Secret Kit Club as well, and I was determined to get it used. And I thought it was a nice way to bring some of the brown from the cork to another area on the layout. So I just went ahead and added it up at the top with some double-sided tape, and I think it adds just something a little extra up in that left corner. And you'll see because I'm adding my title in the bottom right, I'm going to add this little word phrase strip and then my journaling underneath. It kind of creates a diagonal flow to the layout, which I really like. So before I put down these cork pieces, I decided I want to go ahead and run a line of faux stitching of sorts with my pen through these hearts. I really like this look, but I am way too impatient to fight with my sewing machine. So instead, I go ahead and use a pen. Yes, it's fake, but I love the way that it looks anyway, and I'm using a navy pen so it ties in with the navy on the page because I don't really have any black on here, I don't think, and so I thought the navy worked a little bit better for this little design aspect. And I probably should have done this before adding my photos, before adding all of these thickers and things that I'm now having to work around, but I just kind of decided in the moment that I wanted to do it, and so I'm just going with it. I think that's one of the fun parts about scrapbooking is that there doesn't have to be a plan necessarily. You can just kind of wing it or start with a plan and then kind of wing it. Because in this case, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm lifting the base design of Lisa's layout, and now I'm making it my own. And that's what we do on Scraplift Sunday. Miranda does the same thing on her channel, so be sure to check her out, as well as all of the other lovely ladies who I will have in the description box below who are joining for this scrap lift. They're not all lifting the same of Lisa's layouts. They're all lifting different ones. And so I'm really excited to see what their takes on her layouts are and what inspiration they may be able to add to Lisa's designs. So now I have a smaller heart punch. Again, this is another Fisker's one. This was one of the thick punches that'll go through cork and it'll go through a lot of thicker fabrics and things. And I'm going to use some of the scraps from that paper to layer some of the colors on different colors. So I've got yellow on the purple, I've got purple on the yellow, red and on the other yellow, just trying to mix it up so that it adds a little bit more dynamic to that background, makes it a little bit more interesting. And then because when I'm not sure what else to add to a page, I go for florals or butterflies, I'm going to bring in these really sweet butterflies that I fussy cut out of a 6x8 paper pad by Jen Hadfield. I really like these. I think they add a little bit of a whimsy to the page and kind of break up the linear look of all of those columns and rows and make them a little bit softer. This ends up being a little bit more eclectic than I normally create, so I love that this challenged me to step outside my typical florals and butterflies and try something a little bit different, but it's still within my comfort zone. It's always nice when you could find a little happy medium there, and I wasn't quite sure when to stop, so I won't. And I'll just keep going and adding lots of beautiful things to this layout. I'm not going to layer a lot on top of the photo with this one because there's several things in the background I want you to be able to see, like what cinema they're at and of course the kids. So I don't want to cover up too much of it, and I'm going to stick to my embellishing on the hearts mostly. I'm bringing in some of the thickers they had little hearts in the thickers that matched those copperish, goldish, orangish glitter, and add some of those to the hearts as well. And then I'll bring in one of my cork embellishments was a banner flag that I stamped, and add that along with another banner flag at the top right. Again, we're not covering up the name of the cinema. We're just going to go ahead and just a tiny bit of embellishment up there to help tie it into the background so it doesn't feel like it's out of place. Adding in my journaling at the bottom. We're coming near the end, and I just want to talk about what movie they're going to see and how excited they were to go. This was at the end of the year. They went for, I think it was in December of 2017, I'm pretty sure. And I may even have already scrapped this in my December album, like a December daily type album. But I think for 2017, I don't know if I did a whole December daily or if I just did a December album. I'm not really sure. I thought I was done, decided, nope, I need to come in and add some butterfly trails with some Gold Nouveau in bright gold, and then I will come in with some scattering and splattering as well because I thought it needed a few more details. So I'm doing some controlled splattering with these Nouveau drops, and then I'll use some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in gold to splatter all around the outside, and I really think that makes it feel more complete and finished. Be sure to check out all the ladies in the description box below, and congratulations, Lisa, on 5 years on YouTube! That's it for me, guys. Until next time. Bye!